district to decide who they feel would be better to represent their interests and their objectives. And in this particular case, Republicans and independents are going to vote in our primary will get a chance to decide who they feel is better able to defeat Seth Moulton and advance their interests. And if they choose Carlos, I will support them. If they choose me, I will do the best to represent their vote and their confidence. So, I'm prepared to debate Carlos. I'm prepared to present our ideas. I want this to be a discussion, and whether it's with him or with Seth Moulton, a discussion of ideas, a discussion of policies and of issues, not the sort of politics that is very popular today, but is very destructive today, which is the politics of personal destruction, of character assassination, of things that don't have anything to do with your future, but just to try to take someone down or up. So, I have done my opposition research on Carlos. I can see 1,000 things that would be not positive about him, but I'm not going to do that because I want to run a campaign and I want to be known as someone that works on the issues, not on personalities and things like that. And only when that impacts a policy like Seth, working for the Democrats, not for the people, then I will make that point. But I'm not going to attack what he did in high school, who he dated, all the other things that are floating around there in the ether. That's not the kind of democracy that I want to live in. So I'm not going to participate in that.
Okay, well, at some point too, there may be a debate.
Yeah, when can we do that? When are we going to have?
Well, let's get on the ballot, and we got time
I'm
between now and
gonna be on the
September.
ballot. Okay, you want to wait that long? September is too late.
True. Well, then,
But the convention is this weekend,
Yeah.
so afterwards, I'm sure that John for the Republican Town Committee, on the Gloucester,
Yeah.
the Republican Committee, we will get debates because we need to get you guys out, so.
at the very least, it brings it, primary, the positive thing about primary, and it's so easy for me to say because I'm not in a primary, I think, I'm running for Register of Deeds.
No, I think it's too late.
So, the benefit is it could draw a lot of people's attention, to the party and to the ideas and to the issues. And either candidate who wins will gain more name recognition because of that. So maybe it's something that, and I haven't talked to Amanda about it, but maybe it's a regional thing that we could work on together.
Exactly.
As the Rockport, Gloucester Committee and all that,
Yeah.
in Manchester. And,
So you'll get your debates.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can coordinate something. And see if that can work.
Yeah.
Which can only benefit if we do it the right way. It can benefit all of us, basically. So we'll table that for now because I can do that. I'm the chairman. So we have a returning candidate that I'd like to give a few minutes to, Richard Baker for Governor's Counsel.
Thank you, John. I appreciate the opportunity. I've spoken to most of the people here. Most of you know who I am and why the Governor's Council is so important. But for the few of you that don't, I'm Rich Baker. I run New England Intellectual Property, where I help people get patents and to make money on their patents during my day job. I'm also on the Board of Assessors of the town of West Newbury, and I've been in the district for many, many years. I ran for Congress in 2008 and Governor's Council in 16. In 16, I came very close to winning. I got 170,000 votes. It wasn't quite enough to win, but if I can get 170,000 votes this time, I'm in. And this time, I've got several advantages that I didn't have in 2016. One, my opponent does not have Hillary Clinton's coattails. Hillary won the district very well. I did better than Donald Trump by 4 points. This time, the head of the ticket is going to be Charlie Baker and one of 3 great senatorial candidates that should win my Governor's Council district. So I've got coattails to ride on. I'm running a second time, so I get more name recognition. As I'm out running again, I'm building on what I built on in 2016. And I've got the Baker name recognition. So that's gonna help me. There's a couple of more points. And I'm not gonna make the mistake I made in 2016 with early voting. And all of the pundits and all of us in analyzing the situation thought early voting was gonna be 2 or 3 points. And as a result, targeted all my advertising to the last week of the campaign. I think I lost that campaign because 33% of the people early voted and missed my message. If I'd gotten those, I think I would be your governor's counselor right now. That's not gonna happen in the next election, but I need your help, because I need your support in order to run a campaign, to be able to run advertising for that full time, for the full 2 or 3 weeks before the election. Now, why do you care about governor's council? You heard me debating with Scott Lively earlier about who controls the judiciary. It's not the legislature in Massachusetts. It is at the federal level, because all of the judges the president appoints have to be approved by the Senate Judiciary Committee. In Massachusetts, the governor appoints your judges, and it's your input to the judiciary is through the governor's council. Because we approve your governor, your judges, or disapprove them. Charlie Baker right now has 7 Democrats and 1 Republican on the governor's council. That means when he appoints a judge, he has to be careful of who he appoints to get them approved. He needs support on the governor's council. We have Jen Casey from Worcester County doing a great job out there, but she needs support. She needs a second Republican down there. I'm going to be that Republican if you will give me your help, so that you'll have a chance to influence the judiciary and put good judges on the bench that follow the rule of law. Let the legislature set what we want for laws. That's their job under the Constitution. The judiciary is to take the laws and apply the facts to them and decide what the case is going to, which way the case should go. That's following the rule of law. My opponent is a policy person. Her influence, her decisions, or who she puts on the bench are judges that meet her liberal agenda. I am not looking to put an agenda on there. I am looking for simply judges to follow the rule of law. That's what we need deciding the cases in Massachusetts. That gives us all a fair chance, no matter whether you're in Gloucester District Court, or Lawrence District Court, or Roxbury District Court. So I ask for your support so that we can get good judges on the bench in Massachusetts. Thank you.
Since you told us how it works, I got some questions on how. Did you say that when the governor appoints a judge, nobody has to say yes or no? It's already been pre-approved by you? Is that
No,
what you
the
say?
governor says, I want so-and-so on the bench.
Yep.
It then goes to the governor's council. We interview the candidate, we hold hearings, and then we vote, up or down.
Okay. Do you do any pre-work? Are you the ones?
No, there's a judicial nominating committee that the governor has appointed. And their job is to go through the resumes, post any openings, and make recommendations.
And the governor doesn't have to pick from those recommendations?
That's correct.
He can pick from, okay.
He can throw them out, he can tell them to send them 2, 3, and he'll pick one of them. He then often will send the judicial nominee to a joint Boston Bar and Massachusetts Bar Association group that looks them over and gives a thumbs up or thumbs down. Ed O'Reilly from Gloucester was a recent case, and it actually shows one of the problems with my opponent. Ed O'Reilly put his name in, I think, at Eileen Duff, who's the current governor's counsel, or she was encouraging him to do that. His nomination got through the judicial nominating system and went to the Bar Association, and the Bar Association gave him an unqualified. Because he had a problem with getting in a fist fight or a shoving match with a district attorney one day. He also had accosted a judge in the parking lot when he wasn't too happy with the judge's ruling. Mr. O'Reilly is a great defense attorney, and if you ever get in trouble, he's who you want. But he takes it a little too far at times in zealously advocating for his clients, and just not appropriate to be on the bench. So
Didn't he also have domestic abuse accusations?
that came out after, his wife left him with domestic
Now,
abuse.
the interesting thing about your opponent, Eileen Duff, is that the Bar Association wasn't actually gonna express any of these opinions. It was all like, okay, you're not qualified, but we're not gonna try to damage this person's reputation and all that.
Right.
Just, let it be as it is. But she kept pushing and pushing, says, why isn't he being nominated? Why is this all being kept secret? Why do
He
you
is
even
the-
have
And she said he was the epitome of who she thought should be on the bench.
And then by her continuing to push, I don't know how it all went around, but eventually somebody had to, I guess, defend their decision why they wouldn't recommend him, and then all that came out and people were reminded.
She basically embarrassed the poor man.
Yeah,
I mean, he should have never been nominated, and when he was turned down, he should have quietly let that go without it being dragged through the press. But Eileen Duff dragged that all through the press.
but that's not the first thing she did. Last year when you were challenging her, she
gives me lots of good
there was a judicial
material.
nominee.
She
that there was a judicial nominee, she questioned his Catholic faith.
That's right.
Saying, basically, how can you decide decisions? How does your religion or your Catholic faith, intersect with or interact with that? And I think she was basically intimating that he was not qualified
Because he's
to
Catholic.
hold a judgeship because of that thing. I don't know what her ultimate vote was. I think
She voted for him,
She
and
ended
that was
up
what she,
caving in
that was
because
her
she was under
defense in the press.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I said all that, but I voted for him, but her bias was clearly shown in her line of questioning.
yeah, because it got out in the press, and I think she got under pressure, and so she needed to make herself look good again. That's my
Yeah.
opinion, anyway.
Two questions. One is, do we have just two layers of court systems, district and supreme? And the
No,
second
no.
question is, how many judges do we have that you're dealing with?
It's between 500 and 800, I've seen both numbers. It's probably 500 in the district court, and there may be a couple hundred other positions that come through. The Governor's Council basically, roughly has about one judicial nominee a week, so you figure his turnover about 50 or so a year. But there are multiple layers of courts. There's the district court, then the superior court, then the Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Judicial Court. So you've got 4 layers you can run up. In addition, you've got the land court, the appellate tax board, there's a housing court, there's a couple others, I think. And who's, McCabe, who's the guy that does all the Governor's Council work?
Yeah, McCabe.
McCabe, just
Not the
Google.
McCabe everybody's thinking
Yeah.
of, a
No.
different McCabe.
No, Google McCabe Governor's Council,
Okay.
and he has recordings, just like you record
He's recorded practically every
Everything
governor's council,
for
and
8
he
years or
doesn't
10
really
years.
get any attention, and it's something everybody should really know, that link, and be able to go in, because if you're not in that governor's council, stuff that he's talking about gets said, and you don't, even the people who are on the governor's council can say some pretty stupid things, and you need to catch them, because that's where the public record comes into place. They're not under the public record either, obviously, or they'd be taping themselves.
Well, but McCabe tapes everything, And he's got it completely organized, it's probably 10 years worth of history of every judge
Unbelievable.
that's come in there. It's sorted, you can go by date when it comes in, it's sorted by which, which level of the court it is, and then by each name, everything you could possibly wanna know about any judges in there, all of their campaign contributions, all of their resumes.
Unbelievable.
It's all there, and the recordings of all the hearings and the votes. So there's a tremendous amount of information.
The question I have is, we as Republican committees have a real hard time getting anybody excited about anything except the top of the ticket, and we can't get them for offices. So since this is your second time running, are you finding more excitement for filling this position that nobody really knows about, and that's what you said, you say it every time. You guys probably don't know what we do, this is what we do. Are you finding more excitement this time around? Do you think that John and I are gonna be able to get people more excited going down ballot? What are you seeing from your electorate?
If I can get to the voter, I'll get their vote. Because I explain what the position is and the difference between the two candidates, I get a vote. So, yes, there's a lot of more excitement, and I see this going to the RTCs in this cycle, that people know what I'm running for. And they say, oh, you've told us what this is and why it's important. But it's an uphill battle. There'll be 300,000 people voting in November, and I've got to get to enough of them to.
We had an exciting discussion with the Cape Ann Sportsman's Club, and because a lot of the vote, I think, and I gotta reread the article. I only read it a little bit, but I guess the Supreme Judicial Court overturned a ban on people not being allowed to have taser guns or a laser or whatever they are, saying that it's against the Second Amendment, which was good, I guess. I mean, it's I guess pro Second Amendment vote, another defense weapon. Hopefully, like something like what Healy is doing, if that ever goes to the Supreme Judicial Court, we would want judges that would rule in favor of the Second Amendment. And you said you're going to vote for judges that will rule based on the rule of law. Well, the Second Amendment is the rule of law, so.
Remember, this is the Baker Court now.
Yeah.
The majority of the Supreme Judicial Court in Massachusetts are Charlie Baker judges.
Yeah. Which, doesn't.
Yes.
So, I think getting Second Amendment, pro-gun, Second Amendment people on, knowledgeable about this and excited about this will help turn the tide, in the election, getting us out to vote.
They were not happy with Judge Young.
Right.
But that's just gonna go further up into the First Circuit.
Right, that was a federal.
That's the federal level.
Yeah, so, I don't know, does anybody else have any questions?
I have a question. How do you feel about judges being elected?
I hate the idea. I don't want the Boston Globe determining how a judge rules. And if a
But
judge,
you'd rather have Charlie Baker deciding.
I would rather have, it's a representative system. Charlie appoints them, the Governor's Council approves them. It's a representative system, and they're in there, and I've had this debate with a lot of people of being there for life. I've managed patent litigations. I made the mistake